on the inevitable has
Actually been wanting to talk about this. So Sony execs have delayed Marathon indefinitely. This is a W for the fan community. I'm just wondering why, again, they haven't just straight outright hired the person that essentially just made the theme for like, I guess they made almost all the art for Marathon and they still haven't hired this person. Instead, they're just going to try to scrub it clean. And like, if it's been delayed indefinitely, maybe it'll never come out.
just happened. PlayStation and Bungie finally admitted what everybody already knew. Marathon is not ready, and it will not release in 3
Well, yeah, obviously you stole art, and now you have to literally scrub all the assets. Of course, it's not going to be ready in time.
months. Even before the
Staff had no
plagiarism
idea.
scandal, even before the alpha test, people
It's actually
doubted
a
the
little loud.
September release date. It just felt wrong. And not just out
Yeah, there's no way you were going to be able to go through literally, I guess, like even stuff like down to the UI had like stuff that was ripped from this person's like Twitter. So like, how are you actually going to be able to scrub that deep into all of your art assets and everything that fat? Well, what we got 3 4 months. I guess they could do it, but like it would take like 3 people, and like they just don't have the pipeline to do that at Bungie. Like they have to get it approved by like 15 different people before they can actually do it.
of reflexive hate. This game had been marred in controversy. Bungie had been marred in controversy for years and years. But now the companies are facing reality. After endless streams of concern, they have admitted that the player's voice was, quote, strong and clear.
Through every comment and real time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. Would you? We've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft a marathon into a true game that truly reflects your passion. Sorry, just look, it's coming out there. After much discussion within our dev team, we've made this decision to delay to the December 23rd release. Well, yeah, and they haven't given anything like another release date at all. Probably going to
And
get pushed back
the
to like
upshot is that
after
Marathon
Christmas.
is now indefinitely delayed.
They
Marathon's
didn't
reveal
give
2 months
any
ago
release date at
started a
all.
fairly unbelievable string of problems. Now, on the surface, the reveal did look slick,
Odd stack,
polished.
odd stacks against them. That's a fucking little. That's an understatement of the year.
A new art direction, a very
They've got an entire legal team stacked against them. Hopefully,
artistically yummy trailer, and yes, a new entry into the extraction gameplay genre. But
it seems like they're not going to be a new one anytime soon. Make sure that I'm actually. Yeah, I think I am.
audiences were immediately divided. Number one, they didn't recognize
Shit.
this new marathon from the marathon that they knew from
See, I
decades ago.
never heard of the original one at all. And then like I was watching shorts of Ko and he was talking about how like I guess it's like supposed to be lore disruptive. Like it's not like they're I guess they're erasing the original lore like just by like how the art design looked in the first place before like actually like all the art was found to be plagiarized and everything like that. Well, and I'm looking at it right now. Like, I guess these were supposed to be the ruins that you're diving into and everything, and they don't look like neon futuristic cities. So, like, that's clear as day, just already a retcon right off
This
the
felt
bat.
like quite the miscalculation, but it's one that was compounded on because Bungie wasn't building this game for existing extraction
Yeah, look,
fans.
yeah, this right here was supposed to be that other, like, background back over there. Like, these are supposed to be these same areas.
We'll certainly get on to
Apparently,
how
I
they
I have
felt
no
soon. Now,
actual expertise in that part of it. I never played the original Marathon. I should probably
then
maybe fix
came the
that.
closed alpha, the
I really need
purely
to do like some
American
old game.
alpha with heavily restricted
Like
code.
I played a lot of Doom and I played some Wolfenstein. I didn't play all the way through Wolfenstein, but I played most of Doom 2. Like actually Doom 2 on it. Well, in an emulator anyways on my PC. Well, I guess it wouldn't be an emulator. You can just fucking play Doom on any PC. You can play Doom on a toaster if you really wanted to. You can play Doom on a calculator, like, and that's for real.
All despite many people wanting in. pretty odd. Then the players who did get in, well, they found that something was off. PC players were outraged at mandatory aim assist.
Only going to ruin the PC part of the game. You're just watering down PC. You're making PC and mouse and keyboard players basically feel like shit.
Bungie later removed it. The hero kits were kind of interesting, but
Well, that's fair. I didn't hear about this part.
players were outraged at mandatory aim assist.
Only going to ruin the PC part of the
So
game.
it had mandatory aim assist already, so you could just like literally, even if you were on PC, just auto aim to someone.
Just watering down PC. You're making PC and mouse and keyboard players basically feel like shit.
Bungie later removed it. The hero kits were kind of interesting, but they didn't feel balanced and they didn't feel fully developed. PvE
See, I
elements
never
did
played
get some
Marathon at all. I didn't test it when the beta came out and everything like that. So I had like little to no experience actually playing the game. So I don't know if it was actually fun or not. I do like playing Dark and Darker. That's like the closest actual thing to an extraction shooter I have to play that I have played anyways. Um I didn't play any like Escape from Tarkov or I want to play Arc Raiders when it eventually comes out. And I did actually want to play this, but like I think it only came out on. I can't remember if the demo was only on PC. I didn't remember seeing it pop up at all on Xbox, but I was probably busy like either reviewing another game or doing something else.
praise, but there were missing
Or on my
genre
game, I can't
standards,
remember
and they
exactly
got
what I was doing
brutalized
when
for
the whole
that.
beta
No
was
solo
on.
mode, no proximity chat. So if you were a die
Proximity chat not being an extraction shooter is like one of the actual biggest L's ever. The whole point of it is like having an actual interaction and the social aspect. You get that both. You can either have that PvP experience or you can have a full on like friendly experience with someone. Like having that experience where you just run into someone and you're like, oh shit, I don't have any loot, dude. Like, please don't kill me. I just want like to finish my quests and everything. And like they don't kill you. Like, and then like fucking you end up getting like that extra layer of experience on top of it. Like that social aspect of everything is the whole point of extraction shooters. At least I feel like, because like I just feel like going in and just like killing people and then killing enemies nonstop and just get boring nonstop if you just did that.
hard extraction fan, this game was really not trying to woo you over. And that was quite strange. It was a game that didn't look like its IP, entering a genre, but
That's one of the giant L's. Is like it looks literally like you see that side by side. That's insane.
that was quite
Like,
strange. It was a
and
game
it's not even like it's not 100% colorful. Like you get some like bright orange and some red here. Like this is a little bit toned down green, but then it's got like accented by the dark red in the center and the gray. The gray background is also a little bland, but then you have it accented by the pools of green, and I'm sure there are other like pools of lava and shit like that later on and other things like that. Well,
that
it's
didn't
not
look
like
like its IP,
as
entering a genre,
doesn't pop necessarily. It doesn't look like this either. Like you could probably have found a way to like mix the
but
two
not
and not
specifically for
well,
players who
definitely could have found a way to do it and like not straight plagiarize someone else's work.
actually like that genre, which, would appear to be quite risky. Now, of course, the Bungie strength is bringing things to new audiences, but the closed nature of the testing meant that casual players, masses of casual players, couldn't discover if they liked the game. And then it got worse. Arc Raiders, another extraction shooter long in development, had a closed beta, and it went viral. If you're wondering why, it's because it had all the features that Marathon didn't.
It's like literally if you fucking at the same time released a pile of dog like if someone came to you and they were starving and you were like, okay, I'm going to feed them some dog shit,
Plus,
and you were confident in this, and then someone came up with like a 5-star gourmet sandwich and then they ate the gourmet sandwich and you were shocked. Like, you shouldn't have been shocked. You should have just not shown up with shit.
heap of polishing. And then on top of all of that, the plagiarism hit. An artist accused Bungie of ripping off
Well, not accused. The Bungie straight up did. Like I
for
saw it side
designs.
by
Bungie
side.
reviewed the claim. They admitted that it was true.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah, Bungie straight up admitted it. So it's not even like
assets were in fact stolen. They promised to make it right with that artist. They blamed somebody who had left during pre-production.
I was gonna say they deserve at least like, I mean, give them a job, like do something.
But with the broad years-long narrative going against the studio, especially the studio's leadership, and the specific narrative around Marathon going very bad very fast.
And it's unfortunate that like I believe the content creator actually has to do something legally, because if they don't, then like you can actually set a legal precedent for companies to continue to do something like this.
It was quite brutal. The art director, Joe Cross, really did become public enemy number one for many people. And that meant that when he went on to
Look at him. He's so upset. Nobody wants a hero shooter. Nobody wants a HUD that glows like the sun. Nobody wants an extraction shooter with all the edges sanded off. Nobody wants a game that plagiarizes its entire art style. Nobody wants a game with 0 unique mechanics. Art raiders. Oh man, that's a man who probably hasn't slept in like 2 or 3 days because he fucked up. I wonder if he still has a job.
this stream, it was a very awkward situation. The plan had been to show gameplay and discuss
Why were you following the person your former employee stole art from? Marathon the
Marathon, but, well, they had to do a review of all of their assets.
To prevent similar issues in the future, we are conducting a thorough review of our game assets, specifically those done by former Bungie artists, implementing stricter checks to document all artist contributions. Jesus fucking Christ, I could not get that out. Yes, they are going to do their due diligence this time, for sure. They promise this time.
And with this drama happening, they basically couldn't show any gameplay. That just led to a very awkward, very painful looking stream.
Oh my god, people are going the fuck off. They are popping off. Plagiarism will make me god. Plagiarism. Jesus Christ, like they're starting a cult in the chat.
One where Bungie staff couldn't say anything about
this dude's fucking
Marathon's
cheesy.
development
I don't know
or how
why
they
you
would
would
fix
be at
this
point.
newest problem, let alone the various other problems. And all of this in a world where Marathon was supposed to launch in September, just months away.
Oh, and it's still coming out. Well, they said it's not now, but like before, it was coming out, guys. They promise. They promise.
Which was never going to happen. Nobody in the public by that stage expected that it would hit its release date, and now the inevitable has thankfully finally happened.
Yeah, I hope it happen, and hopefully when everybody just plays that. I know I'm gonna play it.
Now that we've got the lightning summary of how we got here, let's talk about the delay. So yes, it's delayed. Bungie gave no new release date, and in this Bungie.net update, they said they won't even talk publicly until later this fall. So it essentially seems that the old release date is in fact going to be the release date of a potential release date, or perhaps the release date of a potential release window, pending, changes and stuff. And it's also when we're going to get a progress update. And as for the progress that's going on, they outlined changes for 3 core areas that are all designed to address alpha criticism.
That was literally that artist when they fucking cornered that's not an artist cornering Bungie right now and fucking got him.
First, upping the survival game. So they're making the
I guess that's the entire internet having that artist back and then fucking got him.
And PvP more challenging and more rewarding. Second, doubling down on the Marathon universe. Per reports, a 4th map that
watch them try to just like recreate the art style and just make a brown fucking muddy mess. I think that's what it is.
Already was like planned and going to be a thing, would have been set on the actual Marathon, the actual ship, and the PvE part of it would have essentially been a Destiny raid tier puzzle thing. So while it does seem that
wait, Increasing visual fidelity.
Ports, a fourth map that already was like planned and going to be a thing, would have been set on the actual marathon, the actual ship, and the PvE part of it would have essentially been a Destiny raid tier.
So they're saying they already were on it, and it's supposed to be like a Destiny raid tier level thing.
Puzzle thing. So while it does seem they always had big, cool stuff like that planned, their framing here focuses more on narrative fidelity, more narrative interaction. They promise.
Well, see, I had actually seen like a short from Pirate Software that originally was talking about that also. Like the entire thing was supposed to actually tell a story over being like an extraction shooter, and that's why they did. Well, it was supposed to be an extraction shooter, but like the whole thing was supposed to be more about telling a story than anything else. And like I don't know why they had to steal art to fucking tell a story, but that's what they had to do. Oh, is it ready?
A darker tone that delivers on
sorry,
the themes of the original trilogy. And if you want to know what that means, I'd highly recommend the Mandalore gaming videos. Third, then, addressing genre complaints. So proximity chat is coming, so are solo and duo
Well,
options.
I was gonna say they really should have known better with proximity chat. That's like the biggest one.
Of course, though, all this lacks detail, which to some won't inspire confidence, but I actually do think it's fair. I think they haven't defined all of those details yet, because they evidently have a lot of work to do. Now, Bungie said there will be more closed testing, the alpha participants will return, and I believe they're already sending out more codes now. So, it's a simple and obvious plan. Bring new features, get feedback, then update accordingly, and
Well, okay, so they're not only just gonna scrub for the art, they're also gonna be adding new content and actually try to address
all
feedback.
on a
So
not
they are going
particularly
to try to
firm
actually
public
release
timeline.
it,
Here's the core truth, though.
even after all the bad PR and everything else. Like I just don't see it being like they're just not gonna make money from it. I don't see even like they say no PR is bad PR, right? But like when you straight up steal art from another artist and your entire like art division, like the lead of your art division has to go on stream and apologize live. I don't see how you can recover from that.
Most of this
Like
game
genuinely.
will not
It would actually like be an industry first if they recovered from that.
change, right? It's too big.
That would
Too
actually make gaming history. I think we'd all just be simps after that.
much work is already done. Pre-designed characters aren't going anywhere. Neither is the presumed monetization model. But the hope.
This is Box GG, and it is a web.
Well, the hope is that if they can meet the feature demands from the more engaged genre fans, then they'll actually get a bunch of features, like, say, solos, that a lot of people would like anyway, and that if they improve all of the other things, then perhaps everything else will fall into place. So, Bungie's developers are going to have a lot of work
So they really think that if they put it all together, if they build it, they think they will still come.
to do. They're thankfully going to get
That's some
many more
balls.
months to do that work than planned. But here's an interesting detail. According to Paul Tassi's sources,
It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Bungie's staff found out about the delay at the same time that we did.
Wait, for real? How did they not know it was going to get delayed? If they were like, that just doesn't
Why
sound
keep it
right.
secret? Well, presumably, I would say to avoid
just
more
doesn't
leaks,
sound-
because the one thing that's been
Yeah.
a total disaster around this is their public narrative. But
That's what I was going to say. When you're literally reporting the deadlines, like, how do you not know it's getting delayed?
here's the thing. Even us on the outside who've been paying attention to this closely have very much seen for weeks now that someone at PlayStation had already decided. The reason why is fairly simple. We saw their investor presentation. One thing is
Yeah, I just did that. We had no idea, guys. It wasn't me.
crystal clear. PlayStation is taking Marathon very, very seriously. It filled multiple slides in their recent investor presentation and their fireside chat. They framed Marathon repeatedly as core to next fiscal year
they PlayStation must have put a lot of money riding on. I mean, it is Bungie, but like they have it up there with everything.
Plans. That means any point between May 2025 and April 2026. So I guess that's your very, very big launch window. And they positioned it as developing IP, right alongside the Ghost series and Astrobot. They also call out strong early engagement for Bungie's bold and innovative new title.
They're still even pushing advertisement for it. Like they must need it to be after Concord. Sony must really fucking need this.
Which is a bloody hilarious statement given all the shit that's happened. But do you notice what they never said? They never said that it launches in September. Bear in mind, this was all weeks.
Oh no, it's not going to launch in September. Like I said, I'd probably give it like December. Give it like another 3 months, like December, January.
Before the actual delay would be published.
Probably January when like there's no other games getting released.
Announced. And I think this also suggests something important here. When they put this together for investors, when, say, studio CEO Herman Hulst made his comments, that the decision had already been made further up the chain. The evidence? Well, live services and Marathon came up as a standalone question in their pre-recorded chat. And I think it's fair to say that's a chat that is haunted by the ghost of Concord. That's because
that's exactly what I thought.
Is Concord the one game that was made that did really bad?
The one that was like up for like all of like 3 Oh, it died on my birthday. Yeah,
not the one that's gonna come out.
Yeah, it literally died on my birthday. That was the best day ever.
Concord as, quote, good work.
Well, not coming out now.
Marathon. That was the one that Bungie's been putting most of their resources in. Like, if you've been purchasing cosmet, like the last 3 expansions I bought you in Destiny was funding Marathon. It was funding them to steal assets from another artist.
Great
work and big effort, but also insufficiently differentiated, which, doesn't sound amazing. But most importantly, he said this: we have reviewed our processes in the light of this to deeply understand why the title failed to meet expectations, to ensure we're not going to make the same mistakes again.
Well, biggest thing, you make a social game, you add proximity chat, or at least add some kind of voice feature or some kind of communication feature. Nintendo's been fucking up on this one for years. Another big one, don't steal art. That one's huge. Third off, actually hire someone to make good character design. Like, just fire everybody on the art team and start hiring people on 4chan and Reddit. Yeah, I got you.
And now, what are those new processes? Well, we can actually see those in Bungie's delay statement. Hulst told investors that PlayStation was excited for release. He described the alpha response in very specific terms. We're monitoring the closed alpha cycle the team just gone through, and some of that feedback has been varied, but that's super useful. That's why you do testing. You know what, Herman? Varied is true. It's charitable, but yeah, it's a true way to characterize things. But really what he's doing when he says that is he's selling investors on them making business progress.
They need this to succeed. They must really need this to succeed. Because like he said, they're lining it up with Helldivers and like all their other like pseudo successes that they've had this year. Like trying to get away from Concord and everything else. They don't want another Concord level failure because they'll have so many investors back out.
That as an overall system, Sony are no longer going to do Concords because their systems, the way they run their business, will no longer produce that sort of result. So this tracks. The player engagement...
Okay. Sony, this is a one-on-one with me and you now. You just need to go back and do, like, Ratchet and Clank. Actually do it good. Do, like, another Spyro game. Do, like, a fucking Jack and Daxter game. Do a Sly Cooper game. just bank on nostalgia nonstop. Nintendo's been doing it for years. Add a little bit of innovative mechanics, like add a little bit of spice to the flavor, right? Do it well, and then like people will come. Just stop doing this. This is not investor safe.
The idea also resonates here. He talks as well about the validation of assumptions from developers, about test, iterate, test again. And if that sounds familiar, well, that's exactly how Bungie are introducing updates, testing features as they're ready. And throughout the presentation, which we'll dive into more later because, it's a very interesting one theme keeps on emerging, and that's PlayStation leadership being more involved in game release decisions and more involved in development reviews. Why? Well, it's fucking obvious, because they won't let studios take risks like Concord did.
Sorry, I want to back that up a little bit.
Reviews. Why? Well, it's fucking as they're ready. And throughout the presentation, which we'll dive into more later because, it's a very interesting one theme keeps on emerging, and that's PlayStation leadership being more involved in game release decisions and more involved in development reviews. Why? Well, it's fucking obvious, because they won't let studios take risks like Concord did.
I was going to say, I don't know what they were thinking with that. I don't even think that was a risk. I think that was such a safe decision that, like, it was way too safe. Like, the character designs was probably the only risk they actually took. Everything else about it was, like, super safe. It was a fucking hero shooter that didn't play well. That as well. It also,
we recently praised Helldivers for good live service design over monetization.
I wasn't one of
basically, they kind of got FOMO right by making a live service feel live in a way that made sense for the video game bit, not just the business bit. And it seems that video really resonated with you guys. Holy shit, it exploded. Here's the flip side then. In this presentation, we learned that 54% of Helldivers' revenue comes from microtransactions, from the 3.6 million monthly.
They want... Oh shit. That's gonna be fun.
This may be the last ad you ever see, because with the free ad block extension...
I need to actually get that, apparently. We weren't done here.
It's just, diverse in terms of one is alive, one is dead, some are... Revenue comes from microtransactions, from the 3.6
But like I said, Helldivers makes sense. Like, it's an online all the time game. It's a live service game. It makes sense that it makes most of their stuff from like microtransactions. I don't know why they cut it off from like 90% of the world. That was also another dumb business decision. Sony just seems like they just want to like delete money, apparently.
Monthly players. That success, their first non-MLB live service, basically made PlayStation adamant that they can do it again, that they need to do it again. Investors obviously love the potential here, and that's why, quote, they remain very committed to building a diverse and resilient live service portfolio. Of course, it is diverse. At the minute, it's just, diverse.
A lot of shooters, honestly. It's really not... Well, we got baseball... Shooter. What the fuck even is that? Far games.
First, like, in terms of one is alive, one is dead,
I mean, like,
some are successful, others are killed in the cradle. Which is not exactly the type of diverse they're really aiming for. The point, though, is very clear. That Helldivers shows, and again I quote, the level of success we achieve if we get everything right. That's obviously...
If you have a good theme, good gameplay, a good... Well, I mean, I guess a premise is a part of the theme. You have decent advertising. You don't steal the art. You fucking, like, you just make a good game, and they will come eventually. I've made plenty of good games. I just suck at the actual marketing part. That's why I say marketing is a big part of it, but, like, stealing art is not good marketing.
What they're shooting,
like doing an apology live stream is
they're doing everything that they can to get it right, because Marathon is their immediate future. There is the other
Yeah,
game,
sounds like a great
Fair
idea,
Games,
right? Like
that
I
is
should do an
still listed
apology
as
stream.
upcoming. And that's especially
Probably
relevant
sell
after
plenty of
Jade
copies.
Raymond
Skills
left
fun.
Haven Studio, apparently after poor internal
I
testing.
probably feel so great afterwards. I'll go
I
make money
suppose they'll be
from it.
doing more iteration of that one as well. But overall, the live services will continue. Whether that's from partners like Arc System Works or doing a Marvel game, or internal teams like Bungie.
Oh, is that a Marvel fighting game? Wait a minute. Oh, that's badass. But wait a minute, I didn't hear about this. Wait a minute. Comes several weeks after.
It has a broken chain on them.
What do you mean?
The design's a broken chain.
Oh.
Political move?
Oh, yeah.
All testing, so I suppose they'll be doing more iteration of that one as well. But overall, the live services will continue. Whether that's from partners like Arc System Works or doing a Marvel game, or internal teams
That's
like
gonna be
Bungie.
so much
Because
fucking
basically,
fun. I'm gonna actually play the shit out of that. I love Arc System Works, and I love fighting games, and I love Marvel. So that is literally like
even
my
though
wet dream.
Concord was a big failure,
Dragon Ball
there's
Fighter,
simply
my wet
too
dream
much
also.
potential for another Helldivers in their view.
Ooh,
So
I'm
here's
actually
why,
excited
to
for that. I
them,
need to go,
Marathon
check
won't
out
be
a
another
couple
Concord.
trailers for that.
Let's compare. Concord was revealed, it had poor reactions, poor beta response, then it was released anyway, and obviously it completely crashed and burned.
Well, I was going to say they need this to not be Concord too, because if they do, investors are going to back out in mass, and like that's a more than obvious. So they're going to continue forward. That's why they did the apology live stream in the first place, and they're doing so much backlash PR. They wanted this to never get out in the first place. I just don't know why they thought they were going to get away with stealing the art. I genuinely don't know.
Marathon then is not Concord. It's literally playing out in a different way. Sony are taking different actions. And we do know that significant audience interest.
Well, I was going to say Concord, for as shit as it was, nobody's like, hey, that's my design. Like, everyone was trying to get as far away from those designs as possible. Like, nobody was like, hey, that's mine. Like, people were actively trying to be like, I had nothing to do with that. Please don't, like, yeah, please get that eco away.
Exists. Not all of it is good, but at least that region locked alpha did appear to have a lot of people wanting keys. The thing though is, for you and me as enthusiasts, Bungie's name isn't really what it used to be. But at least how Sony will see this is that a new Bungie game will probably attract sales regardless, even if it's just from the promise of a new...
Honestly, people will still probably play it just to see if they actually scrub the art out and everything else, like that alone. And like also like they said, it's another Bungie game, and I'm sure there's people like out there that'll have never even heard about any of this controversy in the first place.
New game from the makers of Halo and Destiny.
That also.
Now, again, as enthusiasts, those things may not mean that much to us. And we, having followed all the drama, will be very skeptical. They know that they're PlayStation. They're absolutely mass market, and something like this could go big. And because they've realized what they actually...
Well, I was going to say, they know that they're on the precipice of something. They just see this as a road bump, and they want everyone else to see it as that also.
Can do. Ensure no crazy launch failure surprise. It's not that Marathon can't be Concord. If it was going to release in September, it very much could have been. It's far more that, with a delay like this, PlayStation won't let Marathon be a Concord.
No, they're going to keep that shit on life support as long as they can until they can actually release it, and then milk everybody who actually jumps on it for as much cash as they can through the marketplace.
Two failures like that in a row, especially with Fair Games looking a little bit rocky, obviously that would kill confidence. They need to show to everyone that they will not let it be a Concord because they have learned. The only question is whether Bungie will deliver, or perhaps in a deeper sense, if Bungie even can deliver, given how much of a hard time that studio has had to endure. And if it does fail, I have one prediction. I predict that Herman Hulst will not say that powerful people are out to get him and are paying for negative reviews. That may seem like a random prediction, but it is in fact based on what you'll learn.
They paid our haters. It's on one of his other videos, gotcha. But anyways, that was a good video. Definitely give it a like. Yeah, no, they need that game to survive. Like, they're gonna keep it on life support as long as they can in the background. They'll even probably maybe even release something else to like get people's eye away from it in the meantime before they actually release it. So that way, like, they'll like drop it like how Congress drops like a bill, how they like drop like a very controversial bill and then drop something that's like truly insidious behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's it for that video also, and I think that's it for me tonight. I'm gonna be gonna go eat some dinner and everything.